Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. How are you, our dear student? Today, inshallah, we'll continue lesson number 2, the second part. It's global warming. Time. What is meant by global warming? It's interesting lesson. Global warming, it's as you see here, it's increasing for temperature. طيب increasing temperature for what? For Earth. يعني أنا عارف قبل كده we said before in last year أو last years إن ال Earth is a suitable planet for life. ليه؟ لأن هو has suitable temperature. لكن أنا دلوقتي in this day increasing temperature year after year. طيب increasing temperature ده it's called global warming. إن شاء الله in this lesson we will know what is meant by global warming and what are the reasons that led to increasing for this temperature for Earth. Okay, طيب let's go. Number one, what is meant by global warming? Global warming is its definition is the continuous increasing for average temperature. يعني continuous, it's the gradually, يعني increasing year after year, like step by step, increasing gradually in temperature for Earth. In the near surface of Earth for air, it's the near layer for atmosphere to Earth. It's a troposphere. We said before it is the first layer. So increasing here in troposphere. طيب, why this increasing it's occurred? The reasons here for global warming phenomenon is called greenhouse effect. طيب, you know, maybe know what is meant by greenhouse. Greenhouse like it. Greenhouse, it's this house for growing a plant. طيب ليه؟ إن الجرين هاوس ده it's made from glass. طيب what is the useful for glass? الجلاس allows sunlight for pass, but it's prevent any heat from escape. So all temperature or most temperature inside it it's trapped, يعني prevent for escape. طيب يبقى أنا عندي temperature inside greenhouse it's more than the temperature in the outer. طيب ايه العلاقة بينهم هما الاتنين؟ ان انا عندي دلوقتي الارث it's like this greenhouse. يعني ايه؟ يعني الارث حصل لها increasing for its temperature. يبقى انا عندي هنا this earth is surrounded by atmosphere. This atmosphere it's the play as this glass, so it's prevent temperature from escape. Let's show this video to understand what is meant by greenhouse effect and why this temperature can't escape from atmosphere. Okay,
enormous amount of radiations from the sun, which we receive in the form of light and heat energy. These radiations in the form of visible, ultraviolet and infrared have to first pass the Earth's atmosphere before reaching the surface. The ozone layer, which is present in the Earth's atmosphere, blocks some amount of harmful ultraviolet rays from reaching the surface. Of the remaining rays reaching the surface, part of it is absorbed by the Earth, and some, especially the infrared waves, are reflected back into the space.
Okay, until this part from this video, you can see here sunlight emits many rays. One of them it's sunlight. Sunlight it's a benefit for us for heat and light, and ultraviolet radiation and infrared and another rays. طيب the sunlight can pass to the surface of Earth. الانفراريد small amount for it can pass. طيب انا شايف هنا ايه ان اليو في طبعا most of them can't pass. ليه؟ لان انا عندي هنا الاوزون layer can't pass from the ozone layer and the small amount اللي هي it's useful can pass. طيب sunlight ده absorbed by animal and soil and living or non-living in the earth and changing to infrared. This infrared has thermal effect. احنا قلنا قبل كده ان اليو في has chemical effect، لكن انا عندي هنا ان الانفراريد has thermal effect. طيب ايه بقى اللي حصل؟ sunlight part of it is changing to infrared، وانا عندي اصلا infrared part from it can escape، يعني small amount for it can escape. طيب المفروض ان هي هتعمل ايه؟ هتعمل go out. طيب لما تيجي تعمل escape، لما تيجي خلاص هتخرج وتعمل escape، part of them after time can't pass. ليه؟ لأن حصل هنا حاجة حصلت في الأتموسفير عملت prevent for passing for infrared. هي الانفراريد أصلا عندها إيه؟ عندها long wavelengths، المفروض إن هي ما تعرفش تعمل passing from atmosphere، لكن أنا عندي بتبقى كمية صغيرة جدا هي small amount for infrared اللي كان pass. يعني most of it it's أصلا still in earth، وهي دي بتبقى the main reasons for temperature. يعني أنا أصلا عندي إن temperature for earth is causing by infrared، هو it's created by الله سبحانه وتعالى. لأن infrared and the light visible light it changed to infrared and infrared most of it is still in earth، ودي بتعمل لي إيه؟ بتعمل لي opposing temperature. طيب after time this infrared can't pass, most of it is, can't pass and can't escape. ليه؟ ده بقى اللي عمل لي الجلوبال وورمنج، اللي احنا قلنا ان الانفراريد هي ليها thermal effect.
But some gases in the atmosphere traps this heat radiation and re-emits it to the surface.
يبقى انا دلوقتي ايه جت هي تحاول او try to escape معرفتش. ليه؟ لان انا عندي دلوقتي في بقى عندي جازز، الجازز دي اللي هي المسؤولة عن الترابنج فور انفراريد، وهي دي هنسميها دلوقتي الجرين هاوس جازز.
Which leads to heating up of the environment. This exchange of incoming and outgoing radiation that warms the earth is referred as the greenhouse effect. And the gases involved in this are called greenhouse gases, which mainly includes carbon dioxide, methane, water vapor, chlorofluorocarbons, etc.
يبقى أنا by increasing أو by present these gases, the greenhouse gases here in this layer 4 atmosphere, it's make trapping for infrared and prevent escape part of it to outside or to space, so still most amount for infrared year after year in the earth and causing increasing in temperature. طيب here why the relation between earth and greenhouse, why it's named greenhouse?
Is it something to do with the greenhouse? If you said yes, you're thinking in the right way. A greenhouse is a glass building in which plants that require protection from cold weather are kept. The glass cover helps to trap all the heat energy and keeps the inside environment warm. Now consider our planet Earth. The atmosphere acts as the glass and traps the heat. The greenhouse effect is essential in order to keep our planet.
يبقى دلوقتي عندي اللي حصل هنا الاتموسفير هو play the same role for glass. ليه؟ لأن هو عمل لي هنا trapping، يعني prevent any passing for infrared due to increasing greenhouse gases. طيب after that greenhouse gases we said before إن greenhouse effect dependent على greenhouse gases. طيب يبقى greenhouse gases إيه هي؟ في عندي carbon dioxide CO2, it's come from burning, from respiration, from burning fuel or burning organic matter, and methane. Methane CH4. CH4 إن شاء الله we'll study it in secondary in chemistry, but here يعني هو كفاية قوي تعرف the name methane CH4. CH4 ده come from organic material. طبعا ده إيه؟ ده الأيروسولز. aerosols it's إيه؟ chlorofluorocarbon. في عندي هنا حاجة مهمة جدا اسمها نيتروز أوكسايد. نيتروز أوكسايد لازم تعمل differentiate between نيتروز أوكسايد and nitrogen oxide. النيتروجين أوكساid we said before in the session for erosion of ozone it's come from burning fuel of Concorde. لكن أنا عندي هنا نيتروز أوكسايد N2O it's nitrous oxide from greenhouse gases. طيب عندي إيه تاني؟ في غير دول عندي هنا some smokes أو الووتر فيبر. طيب الووتر فيبر ده طبعا هو عبارة عن hot water so it's causing increasing temperature. يبقى number 1 carbon dioxide يعني its ratio 0.038%. ده طب هو كان كام؟ كان 0.03%. طب يعني هو ال 800 دي هي اللي عملت increasing طبعا، لأن هو بيعمل good effect أو بيعمل higher effect for increasing temperature. Number 2 chlorofluorocarbon like this picture here. يبقى fluorocarbon effect على الجلوبال وورمنج، يعني هتعمل increasing temperature، بالإضافة إن هي هتعمل bad effect على الأوزون، هتسبب لي الإيروجن فور أوزون. Number 3 methane gas. Number 4 nitrous oxide. Number 5 it's water vapor. Okay. يبقى تاني أنا عندي 5 greenhouse gases. الgreenhouse gas دي هي اللي مسؤولة عن الgreenhouse effect. هما ايه؟ كربون دايوكسيد، كلوروفلوروكربون، ميثان جاز، نيتروز اوكسيد and water vapor. Okay, طيب let's show this video to show this greenhouse gases and what its reasons.
The main cause is a phenomenon known as the greenhouse effect. Gases in the atmosphere, such as water vapor, carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, and chlorofluorocarbons, let the sun's light in, but keep some of the heat from escaping, like the glass walls of a greenhouse. The more greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, the more heat gets trapped, strengthening the greenhouse effect and increasing the Earth's temperature.
يبقى دلوقتي عرفت إن عندي هنا increasing amount or increasing concentration from greenhouse gases in this layer from in the atmosphere. This led to هتعمل prevent for infrared. طبعا infrared want to pass from any way can't pass. ليه؟ لأن عندي increasing more and more year after year for concentration of greenhouse gases. فطبعا infrared هتفضل فين؟ still in earth. وده هيعمل ايه؟ يعمل increasing temperature. يبقى دلوقتي لو قلت ايه هو ال explaining او interpretation of greenhouse phenomena، السبب بتاعها هيبقى ايه؟ دي طبعا another figure for greenhouse effect. This atmosphere like plays the same role for glass. احنا شايفين عندي هنا sunlight changing to infrared، بالإضافة ان انا عندي infrared small amount come from the sun. كلها دلوقتي عايز تعمل ايه؟ تعمل اسكيب. بس انا اللي موجود عندي دي مش clouds، اللي موجود عندي دي اللي هي الجرين هاوس جازز. طبعا كل ما بيحصل increasing amount او increasing in its concentration هتعمل لي trapping للinfrared and prevent infrared from escape, so still most infrared inside the earth and lead to increasing temperature. يبقى by increasing concentration of greenhouse, the atmosphere plays the same role from greenhouse gas or greenhouse. Okay.
But too much of something is bad, right? If the plants in the greenhouse receives excess heat, it would burn. And if we consider planet Earth, over the last 2 centuries, human activities have changed the Earth's atmosphere in a dramatic way. The amount of greenhouse gases have increased and are still increasing. They trap too much heat, and this excess of greenhouse effect results in global warming, which is an increase in the Earth's average temperature.
يبقى كده عرفنا إن by increasing amount for greenhouse gas ده هيعمل trapping for infrared. يبقى definition دي another picture for greenhouse effect. Most infrared can't pass and small amount only can pass. Most of them still in atmosphere and come back for earth, causing increasing temperature. يبقى definition here for greenhouse effect هي trapping for infrared. type. What we'll speak about this definition after this point. Reasons for increasing greenhouse gas. What is this? It's a lot of smoke. يبقى this a lot of smoke may be carbon dioxide and methane and nitrous oxide and water vapor. So طيب ده هيجيلي منين؟ كل السموكس دي هتجيلي منين؟ من البيرنينج. يبقى number 1 عندي burning fuel. طيب number 2 أنا عندي carbon dioxide ده المفروض هيحصل له increasing. طيب هو إيه الحاجة أصلا اللي the main living organisms dependent on carbon dioxide? It's great, it's tree. طيب by cutting this tree it's led to طبعا increasing amount of carbon dioxide. يبقى number 2 cutting a tree it's led to increasing carbon dioxide. Number 3 what is this? It's a fire, it's a big fire. يبقى أنا عندي forest fire by nature or by man it's led to increasing a lot amount of smokes. طيب يبقى السموكس دي اللي هي برضه عبارة عن ايه؟ عبارة عن الجرين هاوس جاز. يبقى كل ده هي reasons for increasing amount. يبقى by increasing technology and increasing activity by man it's led to increasing greenhouse gases and it's led to damage for earth أو this damage by increasing temperature. We will know after a few time or after few minutes what are the damage and what are the affecting for global warming. Let's see this video to show the increasing what is the reasons for increasing greenhouse gases.
Human activities, like the burning of fossil fuels, have increased the amount of CO2 in the atmosphere by more than a third since the Industrial Revolution. The rapid increase in greenhouse gases in the atmosphere has warmed the planet at an alarming rate. While Earth's climate has fluctuated in the past, atmospheric carbon dioxide hasn't reached today's levels in hundreds of thousands.
يبقى احنا شايفين دلوقتي ان amount for carbon dioxide طبعا in the past different than in this day highly increasing for ratio of carbon dioxide and this is led to طبعا increasing temperature for Earth.
Thousands of years.
Okay. طيب لو انا دلوقتي عايزه اقول بقى greenhouse effect يبقى الجرين هاوس افكت what is its definition؟ هي عبارة عن ايه؟ جات لي منين الجرين هاوس افكت دي؟ هي كلها بسبب ان انا عندي الانفراريد still in the earth. يبقى trapping of infrared in troposphere ليه؟ due to a increasing ratio or concentration of greenhouse gases which causing increasing planet Earth temperature. يبقى لما أسأل على greenhouse effect هي trapping of infrared radiation due to increasing greenhouse gases دي هتعملي ايه بعد كده causing increasing temperature for Earth. طيب what are the affecting of global warming؟ global warming ده increasing it's bad or good؟ يعني sure it's bad. طيب لو هو bad طب هو ممكن يعمل لي ايه؟ يعني ممكن كده try for think لو هو it's negative ماشي it's negative effect يبقى هو ممكن يعمل increasing temperature هتعملي ايه في الايس هتعملي ايه في السنو طب هتعمل ايه لو increasing temperature هتعمل ايه في السويل طيب how its effect on plant by increasing تعمل ايه في الفورست طيب you can see with me let us show this video it's help you to imagine what will happen by increasing in temperature for Earth.
Human activities, from pollution to overpopulation, are driving up the Earth's temperature and fundamentally changing the world around us. Climate change has consequences for our oceans, our weather, our food sources, and our health. Ice sheets, such as Greenland and Antarctica,
you can see here it's a large amount for ice will melt. And this melting led to this living organisms like seal, like bear, polar bear, and another any living organism dependent on its suitable amount or suitable place its ice. أنا كده عملت له damage for natural habitat. So it's led to death for this living organism.
Are melting. The extra water that was once held in glaciers causes sea levels to rise and spills out of the oceans, flooding coastal regions. Warmer temperatures also make weather more. Warmer temperatures also make coastal regions. Warmer temperatures also make weather more extreme. This means not only more intense major storms.
دي كده severe storm like turbulence عندي floods. الفلودز دي هتعمل لي ايه damaged area طبعا.
Floods and heavy snowfall. But also longer and more frequent droughts.
What is meant by drought here? Drought it's decreasing طبعا شايف هنا decreasing أو severe decreasing amount for water and this led to death for plant and animal and a lot living organisms all of them dependent on water.
These changes in weather pose challenges. Growing crops becomes more difficult. The areas where plants and animals can live shift, and water supplies are diminished.
Okay, so we will collect the negative effect for global warming in a small point as we show here. Number 1 يبقى melting ice. احنا قلنا melting ice ده هيعمل لي ايه؟ هيعمل لي this for living organisms. طيب ممكن يعمل ايه تاني؟ لو انا عندي هنا area near for this place ايه اللي هيحصل لها؟ يعني still as it is، يعني طبعا ايه will cover with water. يبقى انا عندي melting ice or snow. This led to number 1 coastal area will drawn is covered mostly covered with water and damage all of it. Number 2 polar bear or seal will extinction. يبقى extinction some animal like polar bear and seals. طيب after that number 2 يبقى the main idea melting ice and lead to 2 point. And number 2 severe climatic change. Severe climatic change led to what? Number 1 it's a severe floods. طيب severe floods ده هيعمل ايه؟ هيعمل damage طبعا for city او town او dead body او and damage all thing in this area as you show here. Number 2 severe storm and turbulence like hurricanes. I'm sorry, like Catherine hurricanes. This is dependent on climatic change. يبقى هنا destructive floods and hurricanes like Catherine hurricanes. After that, we said before drought, and what is meant by drought? It's decreasing amount for water in soil. This is drought. And increasing amount for temperature and increasing degree for temperature, it's led to increasing fire in forest, and increasing fire led to increasing greenhouse and still increasing concentration and increasing temperature. Okay, that's all. I hope you to understand this lesson. If you have any question, please send to me, and I hope you understand. Okay, see you inshallah in a new lesson. See you and goodbye. Assalamu alaikum.